They didn't find bones. Not at first. The excavation site had been dry for centuries, untouched by human hands, layered beneath thick moss and volcanic dust. A remote plateau deep in the Cordillera Mountains. No trails. No wildlife. Just an impossible silence that made the air feel wrong in the lungs. Too still. Too heavy. The first signs were the footprints. Bare child-sized tens of them, overlapping, dancing in circles. Perfectly preserved in ash. But there were no bones. Not until the second pit. For meters down, they found a skull. But not a human one. The cranial ridges were elongated, unnaturally so, and the orbital sockets were massive, as if the thing had evolved to see in the dark. Worse, it was fused to a stone idol. Embedded, as if bone had grown into mineral. It wasn't part of the idol. It was the idol. The archaeologists didn't know what to make of it. They sealed the site. No press. No published papers. But the whispers still escaped. Because of what came next. 3 weeks after the find, the lead researcher was discovered in his tent, surrounded by pages of charcoal sketches and soil-stained scrolls. He hadn't slept. He hadn't eaten. His lips were black from ink. On the wall, written in blood and mud, just one sentence. They ate him to become him. That was 1976. No team ever returned. But in 2009, a satellite scan of the same region picked up a geometric anomaly, a perfect ring, 30 meters wide, with a central monolith casting no visible shadow. No official expedition was launched. Not officially. Unofficially, a group of rogue historians, fringe occultists, and a disgraced anthropologist named Dr. Kira Lenz vanished into the Cordilleras with a single directive: find the lost ones. They were never seen again. But 3 months later, a camera was found near a riverbank, half crushed beneath obsidian stone. The final video was 14 minutes long. Most of it was static. But at timestamp 9:47, the audio cut in. Breathing. Wet. Rapid. And a voice whispering in a dialect not spoken for 3,000 years. Translated, it meant, "It is inside now. We are many. We are hollow." No known tribe had ever lived in those mountains. No registered language matched the speech. Except one. The Balakan. Mentioned only once in a forgotten manuscript from 1491. A Jesuit missionary wrote of a forest people who consumed their sky god in fire and ash, and wept blood until they vanished into the trees. A people who sang backwards, walked on all fours when they prayed, and wore the skins of their elders as holy garb. He said he saw their god, but the ink ends mid-sentence. The page is torn. For decades, no one found anything. No relics. No graves. No bones. Until the idol. When carbon dated, the fused skull stone returned a result of -6,200 BCE. An anomaly. Technically impossible. But the grooves on the stone matched tooth marks. Human ones. Small. Like children. But deeper. Hungrier. Dr. Lenz's notes, recovered from a hidden file on her laptop, included one entry scrawled in all caps. They didn't worship him. They starved him. She wrote of dreams she began having before the expedition even launched. Of humming mouths. Of soil that breathed when stepped on. Of children with eyelids sewn open, whispering in tones that echoed beneath her skin. She didn't tell the others. Not until it was too late. One by one, her team began to vanish. No screams. No signs of struggle. Just a trail of wet footprints leading into the jungle. The same pattern every time. Small, bare, dancing in circles. And then the fog came. It wasn't natural fog. It pulsed. Like breath. And it smelled wrong. Not decay, but sweetness. Like rot hidden beneath flowers. They followed it to a clearing. That's where they found the altar. Stones shaped like ribs, curving inward around a black pool. Not water, not oil, something thicker. It moved even when windless. And above it, the same idol from the 1976 dig. But different. Alive. Its eyes opened when they approached. No one could agree on what they saw. One said it looked like a child made of bark. Another, a mask of their own face split down the middle. One woman dropped to her knees and screamed, "He was never human." Lenz didn't scream. She stepped into the pool. Her final journal entry was written in the margins of a field guide, hastily, trembling. The Balakan believed you could eat divinity, that by consuming the flesh of their god, they could become like him. Not immortal, not powerful, just less afraid. They didn't disappear. They transformed. But transformed into what? The last image from the recovered footage shows the pool boiling. From beneath the surface, dozens of childlike hands reaching up, not to grab, not to pull down, to offer something. A face, shapeless, melting, but familiar. Lenses, and then black. The video ends. In 2020, a private collector in Prague acquired a bone flute said to originate from the Cordilleras. When played, it emits a second tone, unheard by the human ear but visible on spectral analysis. A low, guttural chant, repeating every 6.66 seconds. No known instrument has replicated it, and the museum curator who handled the artifact disappeared the night before the exhibit opened. Her room was locked from the inside. All that remained was a circle of ash, and a single, small footprint in the dust. Bear, you're still here. You saw that too, didn't you? The outline in the trees. The way the sound in your room shifted halfway through this video. The itch behind your eyes that started 3 minutes ago and hasn't stopped. That's how it begins. They say the Balakan were the only tribe to truly understand fear. Not because they fled from it, but because they fed it. Fed it until it changed. And once it changed, they let it inside. Maybe that's what God always was. Not salvation. Not light. Just the first thing that ever terrified us. And the last thing we'll ever become. So when you sleep tonight, if you can sleep, don't follow the humming. Don't open your eyes if you wake to find someone circling your bed. And whatever you do, don't look into the mirror before dawn. Because if you see yourself smiling, you're already too late. The tribe didn't vanish. They just stopped pretending to be human.